Hey, I'm Dallas Michael Sear, and I'm a jerk. And here's Marci Locke. She's perfect.
Oh. We're just
She's wonderful.
observing.
This woman energetically is just a magnet for nothing but awesome. I mean, I guess I am too, because I magnetized you.
Yes.
Right?
Hi, hello.
Oh, the kids on the scooters here are amazing. Look at these little guys. Beep, beep. So we just wanted to share a message with you. I mean, our whole trip here has been insanely synchronistic. Just listening to Divine Source, whether it's what cab we should jump into, whether it's who we should have a conversation with, whether it's where we should go on what day. Everything has just been perfect divine timing. And a lot of that is energetically who we're being and what we're calling in. And we just had a beautiful moment of having a conversation with an amazing local gentleman who was just trying to assist us. Mm-hmm. I felt like he was bothering us. I've had past experiences of being in other cultures where they're trying to push something on you or sell something on you. Mm-hmm. And irrelevant, that should be irrelevant, right? Mm-hmm. Because even in those circumstances, they're only trying to do their best to get by, to serve and support themselves, to connect with you, to sell a service, to do some good in the world in one way or another.
Yes.
Right?
And what was interesting is we've been struggling with always expressing where we're staying, like the house in the Ville and the beautiful.
It's been very hard to say.
Everywhere we go.
Not every place has an address, an actual easy to find local address in Bali.
And so every cab driver we've gotten into, it's trying to express, well, it's the Barong statue, and then it's near this, and then we're here. And so I had looked up and seen the sign for Luwak Coffee, which is this big, beautiful grounds where they do the whole thing with the poo coffee, if you watch Dallas's video on. And I was like, look, that it has like all this description on it. Let's take a picture of that. He took a picture of that, and literally within 10-15 seconds, this guy he pulls up and Dallas was like, no. So yes, he actually gave us a map.
He ends up giving us a map.
This is what he ends up giving us. So behind that though, so Dallas is like, yeah, we live here.
I'm trying, because he's asking us questions like, where are you from and how long are you staying? And I'm just like, we're trying to do something right now.
And I'm just like, huh. And I however it started is that I asked him his name, told him my name, and he says, he asked like Luwak Coffee, and I'm like, yeah, we're right near there, we're staying here, and he works at Luwak Coffee, and he was just offering us, Luwak Coffee right there.
He's trying to promote the place. I'm like, yeah, we've already been, leave us alone.
A map, which we live right by it, and I was just, and we ended up, and it just was, sharing some awareness with this genius, beautiful man that that energy. So synchronicity is always right in front of you. You speak something. I said, we want an address, and literally within seconds. This is how fast I manifest.
Seconds, we got a full map.
Just like even the other day, I wrote down on my list sunglasses to get at the thing, and he showed up within 30 seconds. Had gone out, and he said, I have a gift for you, sunglasses. I'm like, I manifest like a motherfucker. It's so fucking easy. Because my energy is just in tune of course, everything works out for me, everything's an allowance. But what I was sharing with him is, when you automatically have these assumptions or projections, doesn't matter what someone is doing, you can turn any circumstance into this beautiful gift. And so even as, we've had some experiences with different people, like I was saying, like, well, when doesn't matter what if they're coming at us like, hey, you want this? What if we saw it out of like, oh, they're offering their service, I can be very nice and friendly and clear, so we just had a beautiful conversation to even say, no, thank you, we're just walking. And then he was just super nice.
Yeah, you can still respond in kindness and love energy, and that actually will shift the experience and the conversation instantly. And so, but in addition to that, with all of this was just the most recent experience that we had, which we felt was a great, story to share with you. But ever since we got here, we were walking towards this waterfall, and we went to these beautiful waterfalls. And I decided we didn't need a guide. We'll figure it out. We're two adventurous spirits. We'll just walk and figure it out. So we're walking down the street.
We realize there's no trails, there's no path.
There's no trails, there's no signs. We're walking down the street.
You hike through a river and around a bend and through a village, and then there's the thing and and you would have never found it on your own.
Let's put it this way. We would have been some lost motherfuckers. Yeah, we would have been really lost. But here's what happened. Here's what happened was we were walking, and just before we got past this little cafe and probably walked off into the middle of nowhere, a voice literally called out saying, hey, where are you going? And we turned around, and it was a gentleman who owned and worked at this cafe, who then ended up being our guide, the most amazing guide.
Spirit.
He explained to us we were about to go in the very wrong direction, that he would happily be our guide. He gave us a price that was less than if we had bought a guide earlier where the parking lot was. He ended up giving me a free cup of coffee, which turned into me buying an entire kilo of his coffee because it's the
most
best
amazing
on the
grown.
planet.
He did it himself. I was just like,
and his wife makes the coffee.
Even this individual, the fact that we'd attract this kind of a person, he was like striving to become more.
Yes.
And he wasn't like, he was talking about how
spirited.
Yeah, how his friends would just get their money and they'd waste it on you know, food and drink, etc. And he had these bigger dreams about creating this guest house. He's like, you come back.
Yeah, he wants to stay at his house. Yeah.
It was beautiful. And so all of this synchronicity, like we've had, you know, like he said, from the cab drivers that we've gotten into that told us about these beautiful sacred secret ceremonies and all sorts of things where and he was mentioning earlier that there's this allowance for space for things to show up. Like we got here and he had certain things that he wanted to do that he'd created. I let him take care of the details because I like to just be. And yet we've had all these things be like, oh, this shows up, this shows up, this shows up, because we allow. And that's what we're talking about. Whatever's in front of you, how you choose to respond. Like even there's a whole other story between him leaving his phone in an Uber yesterday, and he responded as like, just how you choose to respond is what you get next. And he responded so in peace and like, okay, cool, I'll take these actions, I'll do these things, and if it shows up that I don't have my phone, that meant a destroy to create, and I let it go, and he got his phone back.
I did.
Right?
I did.
So anyways, we're just choosing to be an allowance of whatever shows up.
Yes.
Anything else you want to share with that?
No, it's been beautiful, and we just want you to feel the energy of the peace and synchronicity that we're experiencing, and have you apply that to your life however it fits. So I just want to share that with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bali Buddha babies, monkeys, butts, loving it.
Yeah.
Awesomeness. We love you guys. Power to yours. Choose your best life.
Ignite your purpose.
Lock it down.